Hi, my name's Colin. Welcome to Paint Watercolours. So if you're ready, let's get started. Hello, welcome to Paint Watercolours with me, Colin. And if you really want to paint this one, why don't you get a friend, paint it with a friend, have a cup of coffee while you're doing it, and just have a real fun time. Now I've re-wet all the paper so that it's all wet down here, and we're just going to get straight in with a mix of Naples yellow, basically all over, relatively weak. You can see the board is laying flat, just leaving a space sort of in the middle there, white. And into that, this is a mixture of French ultramarine and cadmium red, and we're just going to bring this in the lower part of the sky, bring it right across the mountain, don't worry about it, some in the top. Bring some in along the sides. Some streaks. Then we need to leave the shine to go off the paper, because then we can put the clouds in. A bit stronger along here. Well, that's it. Along the bottom here we shall just run in some raw sienna. Okay. Re-wet this area slightly here and here. I just want to drop some weak raw sienna parts here. Touch there. This is cadmium yellow pale, and we'll just bring a bright area into there as well. Just gently wash this out, very little bit along here, very weak. Now we have to wait for the shine to go off the paper, then we'll add the clouds. Now that some of the shine's just gone off the paper a bit, it's not as wet as it was when we started. This is a stronger mixture of the cadmium red and French ultramarine, and we are just going to bring some clouds in. The brush I'm using is called a dagger brush. I thought we'd give it a try. The right hand side with the points of the brush. You can use a round brush for this. I'm just using this because I bought it and I couldn't find my flat brush, so. And you're looking at making an interesting sky. Anybody can paint this, it's not difficult. You have to leave that to dry. I've just re-wet the whole of the mountains in the background, and this is the same colour as the sky mixture, which is cadmium red and French ultramarine. And I have just added a little bit of raw sienna into it, and we're just going to allow this to drift down. We don't want this to be too heavy. Bring it down, show a slight fall of land with it, which way the mountains are running. Much more on this slightly closer one. You don't want too much, you don't want it to run too far. Just a drop more at the top of this one, just to add a little variation in tone. All one flat colour. And I want to take out a little paint around where I want to put some conifers in the foreground, and I do want them to stand out. So by removing some paint so that the wash doesn't travel down too far. That's dry now, so I've just re-wet this area here. Just undulated the water, and we'll just put some same colour, sky colour, well sorry, the hillside colour, and because it's lighter at the bottom, these will show up nicely. You really want it pale because you don't want to take away the effect from the dark evergreens you're going to put in. Adding a drop here and there just to strengthen it up in areas. Set of trees here. Just re-wet this little area. Watercolor, cadmium red, French ultramarine, and a fair amount of raw sienna, just to really grey it. Just check that the colour's not too dark, and that could possibly be a little dark. So I will just maybe water that down a touch, just by adding water, and because there's water on the paper it will mix. Add some interest onto these. Stealing some colour, just a touch of green as we start to come forward. Just keep working this edge just to get it to drop a little bit further down. And come across to the other side, and we can wet this part. Same colour, just drop it in. Allow the tops of the trees to come above where you've wet the paper. Oh no, you don't. And now that it's dried slightly, we can add the same colour. I've just re-wet this area, and we can bring in with the same colour, cadmium red, French ultramarine, and raw sienna to grey it. We can add a second line of evergreens. Very light coat so you can see the yellow beneath it, so it's almost like a glaze. Start to put these in. Evergreen trees. See how we go. This is a mixture of cadmium yellow pale, French ultramarine, and burnt umber. And I just want to drop this in. Dropping a little burnt umber. Re-wet all this area all the way down to the lake shore. This is some light red that I'm just going to drop in, burnt umber, strengthen it in areas. And this is burnt umber and French ultramarine, just to add a dark. That to dry a moment or two. Now that it's dried a moment or two, I'm just strengthening up this with French ultramarine and burnt umber, making it a rich dark brown. Just going to create some shape in the land. Earthy green once again. We can have some closer evergreens. This is just a trunk I'm putting in, and I'm pulling the green into the damp paper. The French ultramarine and burnt umber. Back to your green. And just need to bring your evergreens out. We will be putting a darker colour in. Steal a little colour. This is a really dark mix, and it's a stronger colour. It's the same colour but there's more burnt umber and French ultramarine in it, to make a really dark, almost like a black green. Don't cover up all the wash that you've put down previously. Allow some to show through. This side. And for this I'm just using some burnt umber. Dead branches. And just drop some of the dark colour down the right hand side of the tree. Damp brush and just pull it in, and then we can leave that to dry. Okay, everything's dried, and if you find out that your paper's drying out a little bit too much, is you wait till it's dry, turn it over, re-wet the back, and then turn it back over once the water has sunk back in to the paper. You only need to dampen it, that's all. And then just put a couple of heavy books on it and it's flat. So I'm going to continue with this. This is a very weak wash of burnt umber and French ultramarine. And whilst it's off the brush, I'm just going to drag the back edge of the brush across the back of the water of the lake, hoping to get a hit and miss effect. Maybe a little bit straighter than that. Then continue on with the wash. Same colours as sky really. I'm just going to drop some Naples yellow in the middle. Just streak some in. A very strong mix of French ultramarine and burnt umber. I want to put some rocks on the front, so I actually want to put strong darks in here, very strong. Just fading the edge out once again. Taking the edge of that to there. And then you're going to have to leave this for a minute or two, and then we'll scrape out some rocks. Now I've decided that these trees here are just a little bit strong, which I did say earlier on, so I'm just going to wet the area that I want, and we'll take some colour out a bit. You can decide yourself whether you need to take them back, but I just need them just to recede a little bit further back into the painting. And now's the time that we've got some very, very dark green again. And I just want to strengthen up these evergreens at the front here, just to bring them into more focus. Just taking a damp brush, very gently just brushing some of this dark mixture in, which is the French ultramarine and burnt umber. Maybe even a few sticks and twigs. And we'll just try to see if we can get some rocks and pebbles scraped in here. I think we can, yeah, it looks okay. Okay, once your rocks are dry and your first wash is dry, the paper is still slightly damp. This is a stronger mix of the French ultramarine and burnt umber, and we're just going to overlay this over the wash that we have underneath. So I want to test the strength. I might just add a little tiny bit of water to that, I think. Making a grey. Gently work to paint. Into the areas that you want it to be. Soften up the edges. Try to leave some of the Naples yellow showing through. Keep my elbow out of the way. Put some reflections in with the very dark green that we mixed up for the trees, and just drop it in. Pulling one or two out. Here. Bringing some shadows of the bank, which is here, very lightly. I don't want to make this too dark. Burnt umber. Bring this one across. Just touch very, very lightly. Just fade the edges in. Just add that to it. Very gently. It's drying. I have to work very quickly now, it's drying very fast. Soften out these reflections, just to strengthen it up. In brown, which is the burnt umber, into this. And then we're going to leave that to dry, and we'll just put a couple of wind streaks in, and then your painting will be finished. Okay, that's your completed painting. I've signed it, I've put a couple of birds in, there's a few wind streaks in the water just to give it an extra bit of sparkle. I think we'll call this one Lake View. So all that's left to do now is to mount it and frame it. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please make a comment if you've enjoyed this video, and please subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thank you very much.